Hi friends, welcome to the Doctor Dibblin YouTube channel. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, today we're going to be talking about personal statements. So this is going to be more geared towards the medical application, personal statement, but anything that you could learn from this video will also be applied to dental applications or nursing or personal statements really for any healthcare profession. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button, chuck a comment in there in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. So starting your personal statement can be really daunting at first. This is a huge chunk of your application to medical school, which is then going to determine kind of the course of your whole life. So I can really understand that even just starting out, putting pen to paper can be really hard. So in this video, I'm going to talk through three different sections. I'm going to talk through the main structure and the main elements of a personal statement, what you should try and avoid when you're writing a personal statement. And then I'm going to show you where you can go and find my personal statement. And I've dissected it, and you can look through all of the things what I've done well, what I've done wrong, and things I would change. Hopefully after watching this video, you're going to have the skills and the knowledge to go away and start planning and writing a great, fantastic personal statement. So first of all, how long should a personal statement be? UCAT sets the limit for personal statements at 4,000 characters. Now this might seem like a lot or a little to you. Just to put it into context, it's about 14 and a half tweets if you're a Twitter user. In that space, you've got to tell them every reason that they should accept you, every reason you should go for an interview, and really kind of demonstrate what separates you from all of the other applicants. Because you have so few characters to fit all of this in, it's really important that you're concise and clear. I find that the best way to do this is to just write out a rough draft that might be 2, 3, 4 times the length that it is allowed to be, and then just draft and redraft until you're down to just kind of the bare essentials and the bare bones of what you're trying to say. That way you can get rid of all that kind of waffling text that you tend to write when you first put your thoughts onto the page. When I say to be short and concise, I don't mean to not have any embellishment or any kind of personality. Your personal statement is your chance to convey who you are, and so that needs to be in there. So when I was writing my personal statement, and when I've helped other people to write their personal statement, I always recommend splitting it up into 6 different sections. Firstly, you're going to talk through your introduction, then you're going to go into work experience and long-term hobbies and volunteering. Then you're going to talk through your interests, your extracurricular activities, and then have a conclusion. So let's talk through what should go into each of those sections. So first of all, the introduction. I think this is probably the hardest section to write, and I would probably recommend that you leave writing and editing this section right till the end. This is your chance to show the admissions team who you are and why you want to study medicine. This is your chance to show your motivation. So I think most people tend to go down one of 2 ways when they're doing their motivation for medicine. On the one hand is the kind of medical epiphany, and that's where you've had a kind of single moment in your life where you decided medicine's for me. Now for some people that might be a relative who was ill, it might be a personal experience with healthcare or hospitals, and for others it might be that they just had a great conversation with a doctor or a nurse when they were younger. The other side of things is people who combine wanting to help people or being a caring person with a love of science. So let's talk through each of those. Now the medical epiphany route that you can take when you're talking about your motivation is perfectly fine. If you have genuinely a moment in your life where you decided you wanted to study medicine, then tell them about that. But don't just list or don't just describe the moment. You really need to bring in some context. You need to show how that kind of change the course of your academic life, and you need to show and demonstrate how you have then gone on to kind of gear your life around applying to medicine. On the other side of things, if you're someone who is going more towards the I'm a caring person and I like science and so I'll put those together into medicine, again you need to demonstrate both of those things. No one's going to believe you if you just say I am a caring person. You need to demonstrate what you've done to show that you're a caring person. And then again, having good A-levels is no longer enough to demonstrate that you like science. You need to demonstrate that you've gone above and beyond the curriculum, so into kind of your extracurricular hobbies, and show that you really do have a passion for learning and a passion for science. Either of these 2 ways is a perfectly good way to start your personal statement. When you're writing your introduction, just remember that your personal statement is personal. So whatever story you decide to tell, or whatever reason you give, it needs to be your actual reason. There's no point in lying, and I'm going to reiterate throughout this video, do not lie on your personal statement. because you will get caught out. If you're successful in your application for an interview, you can't turn up to the interview and you can't support what you said in your personal statement, then they're not going to take you. So I recommend the second part of your personal statement be dedicated to your work experience. Now, I know in the current application cycle, lots of people might be worried that they haven't got enough work experience. I know that lots of work experience was cancelled or has become no longer available. There are, however, some fantastic virtual work experience courses you can do online, and I'll link those below. And there's also tons of volunteering you could be doing just in the comfort of your own home on your laptop or with a phone. So the work experience section of your personal statement should show off some anecdotal stories from your time in work experience. And this is things that really stuck with you during your work experience, and maybe things that made you think differently or change your mind about the medical career. So this could be in a really interesting conversation you have with a medical professional like a doctor or a nurse. It might be a really difficult conversation you had with a patient or a family member at your placement. Try and include a lesson that you learn or something that you found really challenging. Here you want to show the admissions team that you're a human being who's fully able to interact with people from all walks of life, whether they be doctors or other healthcare professionals or patients. So how did your work experience change your idea of medicine? Did you realise that you had some misconceptions about studying medicine and working as a doctor that you've now fixed? And so what really stuck with you from your work experience? The third section of your personal statement should then be dedicated to volunteering and long-term hobbies. And when I say hobbies, I don't mean stamp collecting or playing with model trains. I mean things that you've done for a long period of time that you've really dedicated hours to. So that might be that you had to hold a job while you were studying your GCSEs and A-levels. It might be volunteering in a local shop. It might be volunteering for a local charity. Here you want to show some things that you've been doing outside of just studying for A-levels and GCSEs. What have you really done to kind of go above and beyond for the community? And this is your chance to really show the admissions team that you're not afraid of challenge, you're not afraid of adversity, and you're not afraid of obligations. The fourth section of your personal statement should then be dedicated to your interests. What do you do except for studying? Pretty much everyone applying to medicine is going to have great GCSEs and A-levels and have a great academic record. This is your chance to show the admissions team that you're more than just a bookworm. Starting to study medicine includes moving to university, and for some people that might mean moving out of the family home for the first time. It might mean moving away from your support networks and your friends and family. And so it's really important that you demonstrate that you have an ability to build your own social networks, to interact with people from all walks of life, to make friends, and that at university you're not going to be left alone and not having a support network. Here you're showing that you're a well-rounded individual, which is one of those buzzwords that the admissions team loves, and it's to show that you're going to be able to cope at university. But remember, you always need to link anything you're saying in your personal statement back to medicine. How does doing whatever you've spoken about, whether it's chess or playing violin, make you a better candidate for medicine? So the fifth section I like to call your extracurricular hobbies. This is your chance to demonstrate to the admissions team that outside of academics and outside of A-levels and GCSEs, you also have achievements that you're proud of. Here you could talk about maybe some academic accolades that you've won outside of your school, whether that's like a spelling bee or you've taken part in a national or international prize. Have you ever won any awards for anything? Maybe even for your GCSE or A-level subjects that were outside of the context of sitting your GCSEs and A-levels. So the last part of your personal statement is going to be your conclusion. Here you want to summarise who you are, why you're applying to medicine. Maybe again you could kind of repeat part of your motivation, and it's really your chance to leave the admissions team that's reading your personal statement with an idea of why you are the best candidate. All right, so now we're going to talk through all of the things that you should be trying to avoid in your personal statement. And I've got 6 main things that I think you should try and avoid. Now, these things are things that I think you should avoid, and they're just a rule of thumb. So if you're writing your personal statement and you're looking through and you think, oh, actually I've included some of those, but I really think it works, I really think it shows who I am as an individual, then by all means include it. This is just my own personal rules for when I was writing it, and I think it's ones that apply to lots of people. But you need to remember that this is your personal statement, so make it personal. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say it, avoid cliches. You're more than a cliche, show that. Secondly, I think you should avoid jokes in your personal statement. Whoever's reading your personal statement might not share your sense of humour, and if they just don't get the joke, then that's wasted characters. Medicine is also a very serious topic. It's a very serious subject, and although it's good to show that you know how to unwind and relax, you also need to demonstrate that you're able to be serious when you need to be. Thirdly, I'm going to say avoid listing things. Don't list your strengths, don't list things that you've done or experiences that you took part in work experience. You need to show, not tell. So that means if there's a strength that you'd like to demonstrate, provide an anecdote or an example of how you showed that strength. Fourthly, I'm going to say avoid having a purely emotional reason for applying to medicine. Studying medicine is 5 or 6 long, hard years, and then it's followed by a lifetime of working and learning as a doctor. If it's purely an emotional reason, or you lead the admissions team to think that it's purely an emotional reason that you're starting medicine, they're going to think maybe this feeling isn't going to last the next lifetime. The fifth thing I'm going to say to avoid is very important. Do not include experiences without reflecting on those experiences. Just saying that you did something or something happened without saying what that led to or how you grew from that is just wasted characters. Reflection is also a really big part of studying medicine and working as a doctor. It's something you're going to have to learn to do, and it's a lifelong skill. And so just be able to demonstrate it in your personal statement is really valuable. The last thing I'm going to say is to not lie. Avoid lying in your personal statement. You will be caught out. You need to work on the assumption that you're going to get an interview. They're going to ask you a question about anything in your personal statement, and it needs to be true. You need to be able to show or talk through what happened in that situation. And so they will catch you out if you're lying. And so just don't. All right, so that's 6 things to avoid putting in a personal statement. I'm now going to say my top 3 things to make sure you include. Firstly, include personal anecdotes. This is your personal statement. And so you need to show who you are, show your experiences, and tell your story. Secondly, I'm going to say include your achievements. Be proud of yourself. This is the only way in your application that the admissions team is going to see the things that aren't on the UCAS form. So if you're proud of it, put it in there and explain how it makes you a better candidate for medicine. And the third thing I'm going to say to make sure you include is a punchy conclusion. This is the last thing the admissions team is going to be left with when they finish reading your personal statement, and it needs to leave them thinking, this is a great candidate for medicine, they're interesting, and I can't wait to interview them. I said at the start of the video I was going to show you where you can go and read my personal statement and have a look at the comments I've made on there. If you head over to my blog, drdibblin.com, I have an article there called What Does a Successful Personal Statement Look Like? And I'm going to link that below in the description of the video. If you go there, I've put my entire personal statement on there. I've taken out some few personal details to do with like where I live and that sort of thing, but pretty much my entire personal statement is there with things that I've done well, things that I should have done better, maybe things that I would even take out now that I have kind of gone through the process and know a bit better. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments. I'm going to get back to you. I answer all of my comments as fast as possible, and I really want to hear from you. Are you an aspiring medical student? Have you started writing your personal statement? Let me know. And so one last thing in the video, guys, if you head over to my website, drdibblin.com, and you click on the advice, tutoring and mentoring tab, if you're looking for UCAT, admissions, interview, personal statement, tuition, or even help with your A-levels, go on there, fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you.